A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production.
Biggest thing we can do is just get stops and run. Stops and run, guys. Push, push, push every time.
Extra session with Kiko Malikdem tackles everything about the world of sports, especially the one close to the host's heart, basketball. Updates, discussion, clarification, name it. Extra session has it. Extra session with Kiko Malikdem.
That's how they're getting the points. Rebound favors battles and gets it away from Bob Mote out the hill for three. Bingo.
Okay, good day once again, sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Extra Session with Kiko Malikdem here in Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. And today we're very fortunate to have with us the lady that needs no introduction when it comes to Philippine basketball. She worked before in the PBA handling the marketing department and also got involved with the Philippine Collegiate Champions League. And currently, she is the Executive Vice President of the National Basketball League Pilipinas. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rhose Montreal. Good day, Miss Rhose.
Hi, Kiko. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good noon, whatever it is. Hello.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We've not seen each other since the game in Nueva Ecija, if you remember.
Yes, ma'am. It's been around March, 5 months already, 6 months going 6.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was the Saturday. That was the Saturday when we played in San Leonardo in Nueva Ecija, and then the week after that we're supposed to play the face-off ng playoffs part 2, but
Yes.
inabutan tayo ng pandemic. So
So yun. How are you now? Since basketball has been on hold for, let's say, for the past 4 or 5 months, what's keeping you busy, ma'am?
a lot has been keeping us busy together with Com Edward, Chairman Soy, and some of our people. In fact, we've posted on Facebook that we'll be coming stronger once we're given the green light to proceed. Though I don't know if you've heard about the NBL bubble that we
Yes.
proposed to, like the IATF, DOH, and the GAB. And hopefully, if not for this another 2 weeks of MECQ, we're about to hold a press con today. I believe you're aware of that.
Yes.
But unfortunately, because of the declaration that NCR again is under MECQ, so the hotel where we're supposed to hold the press con advised us that, sorry, Ma'am Rose, but due to the MECQ, we don't have any other option but to close. So gathering in itself is not allowed.
Yes.
So we're very compliant with the government. So what's keeping us busy is, like, we have 2 episodes of Baseline every Saturday and Sunday. We launched it last July, I believe, July or
Yes.
late June. And then during the pandemic, we've been planning ahead. Naman, we have short-term and long-term. We've done reviews of, our short-term plan. We've evaluated everything and decided to, expand. I don't know if I am in a liberty to discuss it right now in this segment, or should it come later. But a lot of exciting things are going to happen for the NBL and WNBL really very, very soon. So
Now-
in terms of normalcy in sports, I believe NBL has kept its awareness amongst the ka-NBL, our fans, our dedicated teams, the team owners. We've been actively communicating. We've done Zoom meetings thrice or 4 times already.
Wow.
So
That's great.
the management of NBL is really very consultative. We believe that 2, 3 heads, 10 heads are better than 3. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
naman in the NBL, it's Chairman Soy, me, and Edward. So, we're really very consultative by nature because we believe that, our stakeholders are very serious in the NBL, and we have veterans like Alan Trinidad, Jerry Codinera, and Bing Victoria, whose ideas will really bring more excitement to the league
Yes.
soon.
Now, ma'am, your name has been synonymous to basketball, no? So any person na tanungin mo or tanungin namin na pag sinabi namin Rhose Montreal, alam nila basketball eh. For the benefit of yung mga nakikinig sa atin or nanonood, how did you start to be part of the basketball world in the Philippines?
Kiko, I'm really a basketball fanatic. In fact,
Mhm.
when I was pregnant in 2002, I was about to give birth. Yung name talaga ng anak ko
Mhm.
was supposed to be Jalen. Jalen kasi ang mami niya si Rose. So, Jalen Rose. So, should be Drasen Jalen. Yeah, I'm really a big fan of basketball.
Mhm.
During the time when I was about to give birth, nanonood pa ako ng NBA noon. Ang nasa championship was sina Peja Stojakovic,
Mhm.
yung mga veteran na sa NBA. And then,
Yes.
I was actually part or marketing head of a supplement brand that is somehow, whose endorsers are coming from the PBA.
Okay.
And then, there was this ad in quite a big ad. I guess that was mga 1/4. Yeah, parang 1/4 ad. It says they're in need of a market. Not actually marketing. I started with the PBA as head of PBA Properties Incorporated. PBA
Okay.
Properties is actually the repository of all the brands ng PBA. So
Okay.
it's more corporate than the league, no? Than the league itself. What do I do as actually ang title ko, I started with Commissioner Barrios, was licensing manager. So what does a licensing manager does? Kung makita mo yung mga merchandise ng NBA, ganun yung ginagawa ko for PBA. Like, I have Axel to produce the replica jerseys,
Okay.
shirts. So basically anything that has the brand, the logo of the 10 teams that time, it's really under me. So nag-evolve, hindi lang kasi ako talaga kicks when it comes to, I'm a philosophy major, but bata pa talaga ako, lagi sinasabi ng mommy ko tsaka ng daddy ko, yung ma-PR, madaldal, maganyan. So parang I thought talaga my direction talaga is really in marketing because my first job was really in the field of marketing na rin. So
Yes.
masyadong mahaba kung babalikan natin. So doon na muna tayo sa sports marketing.
Yes.
So okay. So after being licensing manager for 2-3 years, we've been very, very successful in bringing back again the brands in the market, in retail. Commissioner Barrios left.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrios left and then came in Attorney Chito Salud. He's one hell of a commissioner talaga kasi that time he told me one-on-one yun in the office niya. Normally nagtatawag siya talaga ng mga managers niya every time, yung mga heads ng department niya every time he comes to the office. Ano yan, tawag dito, mag-roll call yan. And then I remember one time he told me, kasi he calls me Tita Rose. So sabi niya, Tita Rose, I'm going to make this league really good. Sabi niya nga, I'll polish the rules, everything, and then after that, you can go back to the market. You can go to the market on your own.
Yes.
So if you were to ask me kung sino yung nag-push talaga sa akin to do really crazy things for the PBA, like a PBA fashion show, a PBA movie premiere,
Mega
things
Mall
like
yata
that.
yung before if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, to include this includes a very, very close relationship with the NBA. It's Attorney Chito Salud. It's Commissioner Salud. Sobrang the trust that he gave me. Talagang that's something I really won't forget for the rest of my life.
I see. So, kumbaga, you're an expert already with marketing. Ang tinuturing mong mentor is si Attorney Chito Salud with regard to that?
Oo. Ay, parang tandem kami noon. Talaga, I really cannot forget that morning when he told me I'm gonna make this league good, officiating, everything. I'll focus on that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you go to the market. And when I did that, he gave me really a free hand. Parang Commissioner Barrios din eh, but he didn't stay that long in the PBA. During the time, because he's been in and out of the PBA that
Yes.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of yung talagang the liberty to, like, he gave you the free hand to
Mm-hmm.
do whatever you like, as long as we draw fans
Yes, I agree with that.
coming from yeah, oo. It's really during the time of Chito Salud, from his officiating style, everything. Galing, sobra. Those years are really very, very unforgettable for me.
Now in every success story, syempre meron tayong mga rough roads, bump along the road.
Yes.
So how did you overcome those, bumpy roads? Ika nga, 'di ba? Kasi minsan may mga tao may problema, wala na, ayoko na. Pero from you, ang galing eh, kasi you have a big problem pero you were able to overcome, and then look at you now, 'di ba? Parang ang galing eh.
Number one, ako kasi, Kicks, I'm an only child. So, my mom and my dad developed in me yung sense of independence, and ano talaga ako, coming to sa title mo, tough. I'm really tough. Tao lang tayo. We get offended. There really are, tough times, but hindi kasi ko sumusuko eh. Alam mo yon? And I know I've done a great job, and there's still more I can contribute in sports. In terms of that bumpy stage in my career, ang akin, it's, ang ninurture ko kasi is relationship. That's one thing I really learned in this industry. Like, this is a very small industry. You'll see each other, whether in the near future or basta sa akin, I believe that for you to screw up in this industry and come back stronger, parang ang akin talaga, ang naging motivation ko is, I know I did a good job because everyone's telling me I did a good job. I mean, even the PBA has said it's exemplary performance. Kaya lang talagang, alam mo, ang sports parang showbiz. That's one thing I really learned about, na parang sobra siyang showbiz. The more you're controversial, the more parang media-wise, parang, during the time, parang, talaga sinasalsal nila yung story and all that. But ang akin lang talaga, ano lang ako, ano ba ginawa ko nun? Pahinga lang ako. Actually, 2 months yun eh. 2 months. And then an international brand called me on the 3rd month. Sabi nung international brand na yun, I guess this is a no holds bar interview, no? Under Armour of Singapore called me up and told me, we need someone to like organize a 3x3 thing. We need a very good commissioner. We need endorsement coming from the basketball SBP, regulating body or something like that. So yes, and because of the relationship I built, parang sabi ko, eto na yun, it's time to come back. Kasi sabi ko, I'll definitely come back stronger. Sabi ko, I'll prove my detractors na, parang in one way or another, ang ano ko talaga, yung puso ko talaga, Kiko, nasa basketball. In fact, if I may share this, again, this is a no-holds-barred interview. Even WPBA, it was already part of my presentation to the board sometime 2013, when they brought me to Australia. It's really part of my marketing plan that I presented. But during the time, I don't think it is the priority of the league. So we started with, in 2014, we started with the 3x3 women's.
Yes.
We started with 3x3 women's, wherein the teams were named after the 12 teams ng league. So, we normally hold this 3x3 every in between games. Para siya, and it's really drawing attention already. So parang what happened was, the administration during the time thought that, you know, they treated the women's basketball just like volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest about it. What really sold the concept of volleyball? I mean, the sexy legs, you know, the feminine touch. But for me, the time I don't care whether you're wearing long shorts. I don't care whether you're boyish, you're tomboyish, or you're a girl trap, you're a boy trapped in a lady's body. I don't care about that. What I wanted to prove that time is that there really is a need, a vacuum for a platform for women's basketball.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
to cut the long story short, so I left already. So, going back, sumegway pa ako, no? So, going back, when Under Armour called me up, sabi ko, yes, I'm up for the challenge. In fact, the winner of that competition was about to be was to be sent to Malaysia for a 3x3 for a FIBA 3x3 competition. So
Mm-hmm.
we hold two 3x3 competition, one in
Mm-hmm.
Cebu City, and then in partnership with CESAFI. CESAFI is actually the
Yes.
UAAP of
Cebu.
Cebu, of the South.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Manila, where we hold it in the Love Court of Titan in BGC.
Yes.
So basically, after nun, Jolly pa, who we tapped to be the commissioner of the 3x3 thing,
Mm-hmm.
asked me to join them in PCCL.
Mm-hmm.
So, eto na, sabi ko, parang hindi na ata ako matitigil mag-basketball. Because in that 2 weeks, rather, when I was contemplating, ano ba, should I go back to basketball or should I go to business? Kasi
Mm-hmm.
parang feeling ko naman the time when I left the PBA, parang ang dami ko naman kakampi in one way or another. Alam mo
Yes.
yun? Merong hindi ganun ka-open na kumakampi sa'yo, na
Yes.
secretly, I mean, they're backing you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yung mga sponsors mo who you develop, I mean, a good relationship, and some other people that you've worked with na
Mm-hmm.
wala namang issue sa'yo. Parang something
Oo.
like that. So parang sabi ko, I asked Edward if should we go to business, ganyan. Kasi once you're a marketing person, whether sports or whatever, it's all about creative ideas, di ba?
Yes, I
If
agree
you
with
go
that.
marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Oo. So we thought of putting up a restaurant. So, nag-ano kami, tawag dito, we hired an R&D to develop. Ako, I'm the one developing the concept. But somehow, I felt Edward wasn't that cooperative. So, parang
Mm-hmm.
sabi ko, I cannot do this alone. Sabi ko, if lagi mo sinasabi, we're Bonnie and Clyde, we're partners in everything. So, parang, if I don't see you talaga cooperating, so parang for me, I won't push for this. So
Okay.
he was very upfront in telling me na, kasi parang feeling ko hindi ako pang restaurant. So I mean, quote unquote, yun yung sinabi niya sa akin. So parang nakita ko rin talaga sa kanya yun because siya,
Mm-hmm.
after PBA, he got himself busy with, I allowed him to get himself busy with like officiating in UAAP, in NCAA, things like that. So again, sumegway na naman ako. Segway queen ako eh. So, when they invited me to be part of PCCL, sabi ko, very challenging kasi ang management ng PCCL are basically seniors in their
Oh,
own
yes.
rights eh. Like the president, Mr. Ray Gamboa,
Mm-hmm.
formerly the governor of Shell and the parang communications head ng Shell as a company that
Yes.
during his days. And then we had attorney Deborah, who's
Mm-hmm.
who came from Accra law firm, ganyan. And then we have the Lopez from Meralco.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot his name. So sabi ko, very challenging. Kasi mga senior na sila. So parang, this is where you put in all your, creative
Mm-hmm.
ideas when it comes to sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, so ang focus ko, ang inumpisahan ko talaga is to build the social media platform of PCCL. So,
Yeah.
yun. And then, I don't know if you're aware that they're actually creating for for 4 years na ata or 3 years yung
Mm.
CWBL, yung Countrywide
Yeah, I heard
Basketball League.
that. Oo.
Oo. So, that's a 5-on-5 thing. So sabi ko, eto na, parang talagang hindi na tayo makakaalis. So, punta kami in Cebu. We even talked to the Luwilier of Cebu, to Landmaster and all that. But, ang daming challenges that time. Challenges because there was a league. There was a league being formed by, am I allowed to say it? Kasi
Yeah, sure. It depends on you.
So that time binubuo yung MPBL. So nung binubuo yung MPBL, we were even called by Manny Pacquiao in the Senate, and then he said, ganyan. I mean, there's parang, it even came to the point of a possible merger.
Mm-hmm.
So, parang, ako kasi, Kiko, I'm a fast worker eh.
Yes.
I'm a fast thinker and I work fast. Hindi obvious kasi I'm kind of, on the heavier side, but hindi, ganun ako. I mean, no holds barred. But, when I think fast, I work fast. Kasi ayokong, alam mo, sa mundo na to, maraming umaagaw na idea, di ba? Maraming copycats and all that.
Yes.
So, So, anong nangyari? Parang they had a cold heart already whether to push through with CWBL because MPBL will be launching on it. I mean, MPBL will be launching on its own, and then parang, nakakatakot banggain si Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
So parang sabi ko, if we have the concept and it's viable, sabi ko, why not push for it? So parang, and during the time, Chairman Soy is one of the team owners. In fact, yung anak ng Laguna for CWBL. And then, sabi niya, he had a meeting with Chairman Ray. Sabi niya, papuntay mo nga sa akin si Rose. Gusto mo yung concept ng CWBL. Tutuloy ba natin or hindi? So I brought, so in fairness to Chairman, so, he even picked us up with a BMW car. Kami dalawa ni Edward. He asked us to go to his Laguna office, and then sabi niya, present to me CWBL. So, nung present ko sa kanya, na-excite siya. Kasi yung eligibility talaga, alam mo, Kiko, in this industry, ang daming basketball league wannabes eh, di ba? Parang yung mga recreational leagues, parang ang basketball sa Pilipinas, 10 pera. So, eto na, palapit na ako sa sa big announcement, kaya kinakontrol ko yung bunganga ko. Okay. So that time, sabi niya, ano bang concept? Concept is regional. It's homegrown. Ako talaga, I was pushing for homegrown. So, sabi niya, so you get back to your bosses. Kasi daming bosses sa CWBL, Jolly pa, Ray Gamboa, attorney Borja. So parang, si attorney de Borja. So parang, when we came back to them, parang talagang mararamdaman mo, may cold heart na parang yung excitement parang nawawala. Plus, in fairness to Chairman Ray, kasi yung ABS-CBN, they already had a handshake, they had a parang a gentleman's agreement already, and then all of a sudden, pa-launch na yung league. Nagkaroon na ng mga parang ng photo op with the teams and all that. And then all of a sudden, they backed out also. So parang sabi ko, hindi, kaya natin yan. Sabi ko, tutuloy natin yan. Kasi parang sobrang excited na ako ng time na yan. Kasi parang first time. Kasi hindi mo ba pwedeng sabihin NBA style eh. Because during the time in the NBA, hindi naman homegrown talaga. It's a regional league. A regional league, but it's not homegrown. So, okay na. Sabi ko, tutuloy ko yan. Again, relationship. I went to Solar. I sold to them the concept. I ended up leaving the office with a handshake. Go tayo. So sabi ko, ano bang kailangan natin? Excited yung mga team owners. And then, meron akong TV. Sabi ko, i-strengthen ko yung araw-araw. Sobrang sipag ko mag-manage nung CWBL na social media, yung Facebook. But again, you cannot force the seniors to, push through if they had a cold heart, diba?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so the rest is history. And then one time, I just got a call, Chairman Soy, hello, Ma'am Rose. Busy ka ba? Ganyan. Hindi naman po.
Mm.
Pwede ba tayo mag-usap? Sige, Chairman, wag mo na kayong pasundo. Kasi syempre, naiiyak kami ni Edward. Kung wala kayong pasundo, we'll go to the office. You know, in 6 hours, parang segue na tayo sa next question mo. In
Yes.
6 hours, we were able to identify what we want for NBL.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to identify anong pangalan. Huwag tayo mag-apat na, kasi feng shui-wise, it's not
Not
good
good.
to have 4 letters in,
Yeah, like
So
the
we'll go 3
CWBL.
letters. Yes, and then one time, the same office and that same day, he called the admin head. Sabi niya, register mo na SEC lahat, incorporation. So the rest is history. In just 6 hours, we were able to put up NBL. And then
Yes.
I believe Kiko, I was even talking to you for possible team owners, diba?
Yes, yes.
And you know, yeah, and you know, I'm really surprised. Ano yung magic ng NBL? Pag sinabi mo kasing homegrown, hindi hard selling eh. Tsaka never ako nag-hard sell. Na kung napansin mo, di ba, hindi ko napapangalanan kasi parang nakakahiya naman for them. Ang dami mong na-identified na possible team owners, di ba?
Yeah.
Isang follow-up lang ako sa'yo kung napansin mo. Isa, dalawa. Other than that, I don't wanna go hard selling. Even in the PBA that time, hindi ako mag-hard sell. I'll sell to you what I can offer and then you just decide. Take it or leave it. You know,
Yes.
we were just thinking when we conceptualized NBA, we were just thinking of 8 teams. And we launched the first season with 10 teams.
Yes.
Hindi ko nga alam eh. Paano kayo naging 10 teams? Paano kayo naging 10 teams? And you wouldn't believe this. For me, this is history. Opening is a Sunday. Friday afternoon, I was in Makati. Alam ko pa kung saan ako tumigil na stoplight. It was in Greenbelt 2. Stoplight papunta McDonald's, Greenbelt 1. When I received a call from Alan Trinidad of Pampanga, and then he said, si Rose ba to? Yes po. You know naman, Coach Alan.
Yes, yes.
Si Rose ba to? Yes po. Rose, balita ko yung NBL, kaya maglo-launch. Opo. Sasali ako. Coach, next season na lang. Pero sabi ko sa kanya, next season na lang. Nagda-drive ako. Naka-speaker po. Next season na lang, Coach, kasi opening na ako ng Sunday. Hindi, pwede naman ako lumaro last day ng elimination eh. Parang something like that. Sabi ko, Coach, I don't wanna rock the boat anymore. Kasi Kiko, napaka-detalyado ang tao. Alam mo yun, siguro nakikita mo naman how I work, no? So parang ako, detail talaga ako. Pag sinabi ko, eto. Alam mo yun, wag kang liliko, wag kang babaliktad. Diretso tayo. So parang, sabi ko, Coach Alan, sorry You know, after that call, we've been deliberating. You know, a Pampanga team will definitely bring equity to NBL. So parang, nagbobotohan pa kami noon. Chairman Soy, Come Edward, ako, what? You know, are we going to take Pampanga? Sabi ko, pabalikan ko yung Pampanga after ng first season. So, ayun.
And the rest is history. And Pampanga is doing well, actually. Starting season.
In fact, Pampanga is one of our valued team owners. You know, from Governor Dennis Pineda, he's been very, very supportive.
Yeah.
Kasi homegrown eh. Kasi it's pure Kabalen playing in his team eh. Walang import, walang anything. In fact, in the third season, he even put Calvin Abueva as part of the assistant coach. He even put Arwin Santos to be part of the assistant in the coaching lineup. But, you know, there might be conflict din kasi because we play Saturday, Sunday, and the Pro League plays Saturday, Sunday. So parang, siguro sinabi niya, sige, ano na muna. But, Calvin and Arwin are both giving parang yung pep talk ba sa mga sa Delta team. So yes. So yung mga motivational talk. So parang alam mo, I'm lost for words on how to describe our team owners, especially Governor Migs Villanueva. You know, he's also a valued team owner from Camsur.
Yeah.
Iba ang yung relationship talaga. minsan may papasok na intrigera, but at the end of the day, because all of you share the same ideals and goals, wala yan, nakakalimutan yung mga personal na bagay. Although, hindi naman ganon kalala yung mga personal issues, but, syempre, marami tayong politician na team owners, no? So, parang, for them, minsan, they take it against you pag may pumasok na kalaban, na hindi naman tayo aware. To be honest about it, no holds barred. Yeah. Hindi naman tayo aware na kalaban para sa politika, alam mo yun. Kasi, so sa atin naman kasi, when you play for a province, and a city wants to come in, parang Cavite Bowlers, di ba? Cavite Bowlers. That's a province. So, pwedeng pumasok ang Dasmariñas Monarchs.
Yes.
Diba?
Meron
In Pampanga, go. Yes, in Pampanga, sa sobrang laki ng province, and sa sobrang ng pag-iisip ni Governor Dennis, he was even entertaining an idea of, bringing in allowing say for example, a Angeles team in the NBL. Kasi, we only have a few slots for players. There's really a big vacuum. 1 million ang mga nag-aambisyon, nangangarap na makapag-basketball.
Yes.
Ang dami. Yes, Kiko.
So basically, yung mga challenges nyo with the NBL, ano ba yung mga problema usually dyan? It's more on the checking on the eligibility of the players or more on the team owners po ba?
Challenges? Team owners? Wala. Kasi ako, hats off ako sa lahat ng team owners. Wala kang matulak kabigin in Tagalog.
Yes.
Kasi they're really very supportive from La Union. Bukal Paulo Ortega and his dad, sobrang sobrang supportive in the NBL. I believe naman, you're one of our talents. So, nakikita mo, Governor Delta, the mayor of San Leonardo in Nueva Ecija, best friend Renan Morales, Madam Rodora, Madam Nene Tiu of Parañaque Aces, Coach Bing Victoria and the Cayetano family. They're really very supportive. Governor Migs, Solomon Ngo, press engineer Mario Villanueva. Lahat sila, wala ka namang masasabi. Challenges. Talaga, it's really eligibility. Because, things will be thrown out on the table, especially on your definition of homegrown. Okay?
Yes.
So, before, what we do, sa amin muna man, Exicom, board, from Edward, Chairman Soy, ako. Niikot namin yung isa-isa hanggang sa kumapal na yung salamin ko tsaka yung reading glasses ko. Same with Chairman Soy. And then what we do, papaikuti natin lahat yan sa mga representative ng teams. Checking nyo if you think you have questions.
Yes.
So before, proof of residency, first season, proof of residency, school where where you graduated, what else? COMELEC certification, voters ID. But, as we evolve, nakikita talaga natin kung ano ba talaga ang tunay na homegrown. Tunay na homegrown, number one, it's either you're born in the city, municipality, or province that you're representing. Yun lang yun, di ba? Other than that, ano pa yung pwede mo ma-prove? Yung nanay, 9 months pregnant, nakatira sa Parañaque, na bumisita sa kamag-anak sa Las Piñas, sumakitan tiyan. Nanganak. Di ba? Nanganak. So, pinanganak siya sa Las Piñas. But, at the time of birth, both mother and father's addresses were in Parañaque. So, homegrown siya ng Parañaque, di ba? Pinaka-worst na challenge siya sa eligibility. Isang team, ang pinakita puro driver's license. Kiko, ilang years ang effectivity ng driver's license ngayon? When you renew?
5 years usually. 5.
5. It's really 5. The funny thing is, when we reviewed, same team, one player has 3 years validity. The other one has 4. The other one has 5. The other one has 6.
6.
Diba? Yeah.
Ah,
So it's really the eligibility that is the number one challenge. Other than that, you can manage like attitudes, things like that. You can manage. Madali mo
mm,
i-manage. Ang hirap i-manage is talaga to be strict in, reviewing the PSA
yes.
strictly because at the end of the day, kasi eto may nangyari. May
Mm,
nangyari dito, kids. We allow the player to play. Allow the player to play. Resident of this town for, like say example, 15 years and all that. Nakipaglaro nag-join sa game. Dumating yung isang head coach sa akin, Rhose, may problema tayo. Magpo-protest ako. So, tinanong ko, anong grounds ng protest? Grounds for protest is, they saw a player, the guy I was referring to a while ago, who played for them years back, who's born in one of their city. So
oh.
parang, yeah. So parang, for them, okay, we'll finish this game, but we'll put this under protest. We
Mm,
talked to the guy, we talked to the team owner. Nung naintindihan ng team owner yung reason ko,
mm.
in-explain ni Chairman Soy, ni Com Edward, they don't have any other choice but to,
They forfeited the
get
guy.
rid of him. Yeah. No. We didn't forfeit the game, but we didn't allow that guy to play anymore.
Ah, okay. So basically, ang challenges talaga ng NBL is, rechecking the eligibility of the certain player. Kasi makikita ko rin,
Validating.
actually. Correct, ma'am. So nakikita ko rin kasi before the season starts, talagang nagsusunog kayo ng kilay eh. Lahat ng mga members ng team sa isang area to check each papers eh. So dun pa lang maabot minsan 9 hours, 10 hours. Ang sakit sa ulo nun.
Exactly, Kiko. And then, in spite of that activity where you pass around all the folders per team, syempre, iba dyan magkakaibigan na coach. Magkakaibigan sila na team. So parang, sige na, pirma mo na. Nakita namin eh. Pirma mo na yan. So parang, it's not good. Parang, hindi siya, it's not a Kiko. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Kiko?
Yes, ma'am.
But parang, when we saw that activity, parang, for us, I don't think it's gonna be a successful, validation of eligibility requirements. So parang, syempre, you have no choice, but kayong tatlo na lang. So parang, pag ito, may nakalagpas pa sa atin, we will own the responsibility for that lapses. So parang at least tatlo lang yung pwede mong sisihin, either Soy, me, or Edward.
So, bali ma'am, ang nangyayari dyan, una sa coaches, and then sa mga representatives sa teams, then afterwards, ang final po sa inyong tatlo po.
Ngayon, hindi na.
Okay.
We asked them to come. Because office is in Laguna, so parang for others it's kind of hard parang to travel. So we stay in Starbucks. We give them time na per team. So may break na 1 hour. So I start sitting in Starbucks by around 10 a.m. and finish by around 9 p.m. An hour before it closes. So naghahati na kami ni Edward niyan. So hati tayo. Checkin mo na kasi PSA na lang ang PSA na lang ang requirements. Wala nang ibang other proof or proof of residency, PSA.
Yes.
So talagang PSA na, bilog mo na. Halimbawa, Taguig, born in Taguig, born in Tipas, Taguig, born in Nabwa, Camarines Sur. So, ganon. I mean, that's how we did it this time. So, I guess for the third season, we're 100%, everybody's 100% compliant.
That's
no question, no eligibility issues raised. But kasi as we develop, syempre, nadi-develop din natin kung ano yung best practices.
Yes,
diba?
I agree.
So basically yon. So parang nakita namin at the end of the day, tayong tatlo rin ang gagawa. So, gawin na natin to. Ayun.
Yeah, syempre,
Diba?
like what you said, no, you experience yung mga ganyan mga challenges, yung mga problema na yan. So at the next tournament or next season, alam mo na kung ano yung gagawin mo. You learn from experience.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Kahit nakapikit ka, alam mo nang gagawin mo. Hindi ka na pwedeng lokohin.
Now, ma'am, what's the difference? Kasi earlier you said you handled the PBA and then afterwards nasa amateur leagues. What's the difference of handling the professional and the amateur leagues? What's the pros and cons?
Okay, it's like this. Sabi ng IATF, sabi ni Chairman Ramirez ng PSC, if you don't play for the flag and you get paid, then you're a pro. Yan yung mga statements ko. In the Philippines, there's only 2 leagues. It's pro and non-pro. Yan lang. Dalawa lang ang distinction mo. So, difference, kasi in the pro league, in the PBA, very minimal 12 teams. Pero maraming boses. Maraming, talagang, in terms of relationship, syempre, different strokes for different folks. Diba? Ganon.
Different egos.
Yes. Oo. Medyo, pagdating sa players, syempre, may mga name na PBA na ako So, parang, maraming challenges. Sa amateur league, mga bata pa So, pag nagloko, pwede mo pang korekin.
Yes.
Pwede mo pang korekin. Sa PBA, syempre, hindi naman sa matigas ang ulo. In fairness to them, maraming mababait na players sa PBA. Maraming mababait. In fact, even Calvin's mabait. It's just that, syempre, merong attitude na tinatawag, yung attitude on the court. Diba? Merong mga kanya-kanyang merong mga kanya-kanyang style. So, parang, sa NBL, yung mga bata, madali mo i-correct. Kasi natatakot pa sa'yo. I mean, that's the term. That's the term. Takot. In the PBA, respeto. Diba?
Yes.
Sa NBL, takot. Kiko, if you allow me to share this.
Sige, please.
Okay. There was a game in Marikina, the last game between Camsur Express and Pasig. Okay. Pasig really is a neophyte team. Camsur, 3 seasons ka lang kasama. Hanggang sa assistant coach siya, nagmamano yan sa akin. So, for that, I really have to commend Camsur players and coaches. Ang respeto sa'yo, talagang sobra. Minsan nga, magmamano sa'yo. Minsan, tingin mo, mas matanda pa sa'yo. Pero, okay lang. I mean, that's a sign of respect
Yeah.
hindi ko inaalis yung kamay. I mean, that's a sign of respect. Eto na. So, happened that Pasig defeated Camsur that time. So, merong BPG, di ba? Meron tayong best player of the game.
Yes.
Kailangan mo mag-pictorial, kasama yung bola at kasama si Shooks to go na banner. Aba, that time, I guess, I was talking to an important person that time, may VIP bisita. And then I asked my staff, si Ice and Kat, yung ano natin, yung therapist natin, to take the photo and ay, asikasuhin siya. Aba, winawalang sorry for the term, winawalang yung tao ko Tapos, alam mo yung kayabang-yabang? Ano sabi ko? Walang BPG. Walang BPG kasi ang best player of the game, hindi lang magaling sa basketball, mabuting tao. I mean, that's for me. Sabi ko, kabago-bago nyo, kumpara ko kayo dun sa Camsur Express, 3 taong ko lang kasama yan. Kahit isa dyan, walang nang bastos ng staff ko, walang nang bastos sa akin. Yung ginagawa nyo sa staff ko, that permeates sa akin Di ba? Kasi tao ko sila Bakit bastusin mo? So, sino binabastos mo in the end? Ako, walang BPG. Sabi ko, walang BPG. Yung bata sobrang excited. Alam mo, after that game, hindi ko talaga sila kinakausap, ma'am, sorry, well, I don't have, ganun kasi ako, Kiko Alam mo, for me, respect is really important. Respeto sa janitor, respeto sa CEO, will show what kind of a person you are di ba?
Yes
So,
po.
the next game, sumobra naman ang OA nitong mga bata. Next game, lahat naman sila nagmanuhan sa akin. Alam mo yun, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun sa PBA player. Di ba? Hindi mo pwedeng gawin sa PBA player yan. So, alam mo, sagutin ko yung title mo, a tough lady. In this industry wherein 98% is dominated by male, pag hindi ka tough, kakainin kang buong buo. So you really have to be tough, di ba? I mean, you really have to show them, you have to respect me. Ganun yun. Alam mo, whether it's fear or respect, bahala ka how you will treat it. But ako, I will act as if I am respectable. So you have to give it back to me because kahit ikaw, wala kang pangalan. Alam mo, sagot ka talaga sa player, may pangalan ka na ba? Pero ako talaga, for you to treat my people that way, may pangalan ka, wala. Eto pa, share ko. May isang player, Paranaque Aces. Alam mo, sabi niya sa tao ko, kay Alex, Kuya Alex,
yes,
diba? Kuya Alex is he's our liaison officer. Sabi niya, uy, bola. Sabi ko, sino ka? Anong pangalan mo? Gusto mo pauwiin kita? Sabi ko, wag mong bigyan ng bola until such time irespeto ka nila. Sabi ko gano'n. I mean, yes, they're liaison officers, they're staff, but sa NBL ba, respetohin mo lang si Com, si Soy, ako? No, you have to respect everybody because kahit kami, respetohin din namin sila. Alam mo, the time sabi ko, sino ka? Anong pangalan mo? May pangalan ka na ba? Ginanon ko talaga. May pangalan ka na ba? Things like that. So,
yes. Speaking of your staff, so sinasabi nga nila you're tough nga, di ba, ma'am? So,
sige mga yan.
Matapang, di ba? Parang matapang, strict. Pero malambot naman yung puso sa mga tao. Like what you said, yung kanina nga, you're defending your own people. Kung kayo tatanungin, how are you as a boss?
I want my people to act, to think the way I do. Ganun ako. So parang, if ever everybody finds me tough, kasi gusto kong mag-develop ng another Rhose Montreal. Gusto kong maka-develop ng, even hindi sa field ng marketing, gusto ko makita sa kanila yung passion, yung dedication sa trabaho na, alam mo yun, parang hindi pera-pera at the end of the day. Although, yes, trabaho natin to, pero iba kasi kicks pagka-passion.
Yes.
So for me, I just want to replicate myself in them. So yung pagka-detalyado, alam mo yun, I mean, at the end of the day, hindi naman ako perfect eh. No perfect, pero ayoko nang nalilate. Aray ko, Kiko, aray ko. Nakita mo yan. Hindi kita kinakausap. Diba?
Yes, ma'am.
So, ako kasi, pag ako, sinetan ako ng meeting, 9 o'clock, 8:30 nandun ako. Di ba, maghintay ako. Kasi, ang prinsipyo ko, I don't want to waste other people's time. So, if I think that way, if I act that way, kung sino man yung ka-meeting mo will see that kind of discipline. So, in the next meeting, alam mo, hindi rin nila sisirain ang oras mo. Diba? So, parang, ako talaga ganyan. Yung, alam mo yun, before I tell them to act this way, I have to show them na I preach what I practice and I practice what I preach. Yan lang. I mean, gala. In fact, even nag-aaway kami. Alam mo yun, nag-aaway kami ni Edward. When it's work, when both of us are in the workplace, commissioner ka, admin ako. I have to check everything. Kung staff mo, mali ang uniform, sisitayin ko talaga. Kahit siya nagkakamali, minsan talagang nakikita ng mga tao, pag nagagalit na siya. Siyempre, he's also passionate daw. Yung pagka-passionate ko, ganun din naman siya sa field niya. Sisigawan niya yung referee. You don't do that to your referee in front of so many people. Ginaganon ko siya. Basta trabaho. So parang, alam mo yun, parang, yes, they find me tough, but, you know, it's called for eh. Yeah. Kailangan eh. I mean, walang lelembot-lembot na leader. Di ba? So parang, sabi ko, siguro as early as now, they cannot see that, the value in it, but later on, sana naman, knock on wood, nawala na ako sa mundo, things like that. And they realize na, itong pinapractice ko na to, turo sa akin ni Ma'am Rhose to eh, di ba? So parang, gano'n.
Yes.
So parang, yung iba kasi, natatakot sila to replicate themselves in others eh. Natatakot sila to share yung knowledge or experience lahat. Parang, ako, kung pwede nga lang, maraming Rhose Montreal sa NBL.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really welcome. Ganon kasi yung prinsipyo ko. Kasi yung mga nakita ko naman, nakatrabaho ko, naging mentor ko, naging boss ko previously, ganon din naman sila eh. I mean, they share their passion with you because they want you to be like them. So parang, and for this, yung mga staff ko, to feel that way, I have to practice that in front of them so that they will, they will realize na, kung siya nga ganun bakit ako hindi? Diba? So parang,
I agree.
Yun, talagang sobrang init talaga ng ulo ko sa mga nalilate. Pero yun, hanggang dun lang yun. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, pagtatapos na yung trabaho, we're friends. Diba?
Yes,
we're friends. We're magka-chatmate tayo, trabaho lang yun. So, pagtrabaho, iwanan nyo yung trabaho, problema ng trabaho sa workplace. Problema sa pamilya, problema sa bahay, iwanan mo yun. In fact, this third conference, my son experienced the first ever seizure in his life. Na ospital 3 araw. Paglabas, diretso kami ocular sa Baguio. When we had the Baguio game.
Yes, I saw
kasi,
that.
Yes. Kasi ang akin, iba yung pamilya, iba yung sa bahay, iba rin yung trabaho. So, parang gano'n lang yun. Kung nagagalit ako sa trabaho, nagalit ako hindi sa'yo as a person, nagalit ako sa ginawa mo. Hindi ikaw, di ba?
Yes, I agree.
Sorry,
That's what I like about it kasi about you, ma'am. Kasi during work talagang work At saka walang personalan, it's just about the work. That's what I learned. I learned about it, no. So kaya nga usually pag sinasabi ng sa time, yun, value the time of others also regarding that. Now, ma'am, regarding sa NBL, kanina kasi sinabi nyo yung bubble for the playoffs. Kasi natapos natin yung first round, yung knockout phase So we're going to the top 8 na. The last 8 biglang nagkaroon ng coronavirus pandemic. Biglang all of a sudden, this past few weeks, lumabas plans for the NBL Season 3 playoffs. Paano ba yung nangyayari yung bubble na yan? At saka 11 days.
Okay. Yes. Alam mo yung bubble na yan. A lot of people have been talking about bubble, but to go about the bubble itself, sobrang tedious process. Okay? So, we propose to the IATF kasi we really need to have a champion. In fact, Vietnam Basketball Association, kasi hindi ba sa NBL may escalation? It's a ladderized program.
Yes.
It's a ladderized program. The first season champion, Paranaque Aces, we brought them to Vietnam to play a pocket, supposed to be a pocket tournament, but medyo maraming delays and all that. So isang game lang with the champion team of VBA. VBA is the Vietnam Basketball Association. So every champion, we bring them out of the country. So supposedly, dapat ang Taguig, may biyahe ngayong May.
Oh, yes.
May biyahe ang May. Yes, bago tayo mag-resume ng second conference. Kasi di ba, President's Cup and then Chairman's Cup in second conference. Nag-pandemic. So we're left with 8 teams. So the very generous, honorable governor of Pampanga, si Governor Dennis, dahil MGCQ na ang Pampanga, so we're allowed na mass gathering. But of course, limited. So Pampanga Convention Center will be our bubble. Okay, what's a bubble? Once a player enters the bubble, they cannot go out anymore unless they're eliminated. So, ano yung mga procedures? Maraming procedure to. Dito pa lang, Manila pa lang, they'll undergo COVID test, undergo 14-day quarantine. Yung travel should be from place of origin, diretso sa bubble. So, there's a contact tracing app to detect everybody who enters. So, once you enter the bubble, dun ka na. There's a kitchen provided. There's a mess hall provided for dining for eating, but of course on a staggered scheduled basis. And then there will be triple header games from playoffs to there will be triple header games to be played na may interval na 2 hours kasi we need to disinfect the balls.
Yes.
Yeah, everything. It's going to be a crowdless game. Only production people will be allowed to cover it via live stream and TV. once the team is eliminated, they automatically gets out of the bubble. So labas sila ng bubble, and then we recommend that, based on the IATF guidelines, they need to undergo another 14-day quarantine or at least 7 days quarantine after leaving the bubble. So maraming Kiko, it's really going to be a tedious for especially for me because I'm the admin. I'll oversee everything. It's going to be a tough job for me, but we really need to declare a champion for the third season.
Yes,
for this conference.
We're almost at that tail end, sabi nga. So, di ba?
Yes.
So, 11 days
Kaya
kaya yun, ma'am.
Yes, 11 days with gaps after every series, like after the playoffs, there's a 1-day gap. But of course, even if there's a 1-day gap, everybody cannot go out. So there's a 1-day gap, then we proceed with the semis. After the semis, there's a 1-day gap, and then 2 teams will be left in the bubble to compete for the finals, best of 3. Yeah, so basically yun.
I see. Now, after the season 3 ng NBL, what are the future plans for the season 4? Siyempre, yan na yung susunod na yan after season 3.
Actually, pinipreempt mo yung press con Kiko.
Okay.
Pinipreempt mo yung pwede ba mag-episode 2 after the press con? So basically, maraming plano, broadcast,
wow,
TV partners, social media partners, and the quality of game. There will be new rules to be introduced. It depends whether after the bubble we'll take time out a month or 2, and then it's either we proceed with the second conference or proceed with the 4th season.
Yeah.
So basically, yun. But definitely, women's will have our second season, a different kind of WNBL this time. We promise a more exciting women basketball for WNBL. Sayang for this season, in fact, nung dineclare yung pandemic, 15 dapat. 15 maglo-launch na tayo, and we even have a LaSalle team in the WNBL.
Yes.
We have a LaSalle team, and we have a Bicol team in WNBL. So
I remember we were plugging it already. A week after na supposedly that's the second season na. Yes.
Yes. So and the time when the lockdown was declared, nasa office kami, kakatapos lang ng team meeting.
I see. So kapanapanabik to, so we'll wait for that announcement sa press con. Maganda nga yan, abangan. Now, you were speaking about WNBL po. Lately also, in the news, meron sumasabi, sources said, di ba, na you applied, the WNBL applied for a pro license. How true is this? Ano bang plano nito? Ano ba yung we would like to get straight from the horse's mouth? Ano ba talaga yung WNBL? Are they going pro already?
In response to that question, number one, it's long overdue. There's a plethora, overwhelming number of women talents in basketball. Third, we're actually a basketball country, so there's really a big vacuum for women's basketball. So without directly answering your question, because again you're preempting the press con.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but I mean, the second season of WNBL will really be a very exciting one. In fact, we're thinking of a drafting, a dispersal draft. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Exciting.
Yes. Alam mo, kinokontrol ko yung bibig ko Pero alam ko, tinitrick mo ako para sa'yo ko muna sabihin. But, let's reserve this for the press con.
Yes, I agree. Nakakapanabik, nakaka-exciting na once na malift tong MECQ, the press con will happen, and great news for the NBL followers Not only NBL but WNBL also likewise. Now, ma'am, ganito. I'll give you some rapid questions. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say these words or statement or questions.
Yeah.
The player in the NBL that you think improved a lot this season?
Improved a lot?
Yes.
Marami. Marami. Too many to mention. If I mention one, it will be very unfair for, but, majority of them, especially those who played from the first season, second season, and third, ibang klaseng laro, ibang klase na laro ng Taguig Generals. Ibang klase na laro ng Nueva Ecija Best Friend. Ibang klaseng laro ng Pampanga, ano na yan eh. Hindi na pinag-uusapan. Matic na yan, given na. Pero, iba ang laro ng Camsur Express. So, yung mga pioneering, siguro, the safe answer to that is yung mga pioneer teams, they really improved a lot.
I see.
Yeah.
Ang maganda sa NBL, well, based from my experience also, lahat ng games exciting eh. Parang feel ko nga, pag nakaupo ako, parang close game lagi. Parang ang gaganda talagang, you will feel the excitement because not only because of the crowd, but also with the passion of the players on the court. They give it all because they're playing for their hometown. Exactly, diba?
They're actually playing for pride. Pride yun eh. Pride yun na nire-represent mo yung lugar mo. In fact, if you screw up, at the end of the day, ikaw ang ulam ng the following day eh. Diba? So, talaga for the homegrown player, it's really pride.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Now, player na pinakamakulit para sa'yo, whether PBA, NBL?
PBA makulit si Calvin. Diba? Parang pangkarot. Yan. Sa pinakamakulit when it comes to court, parang Abueva, si Dexter Mendoza ng Camsur Express. Kasi kikinsot maglaro. Oo, Camsur. Pero yung makulit in terms of lahat naman, majority naman sa kanila, they treat you like ate, mami, meron mga player tawag sa akin, Nay, Mami Rose, Ate Rose. So parang, basically, yung mga kakulitan ko talaga, Kiko, if you're to ask me, ang close kasi sa akin, close sa akin, player ng Taguig, Camsur, tsaka, syempre, Laguna Pistons, mga baby ko yan. Basically, mga pioneer team talaga, parang, yung mga bagong team, parang, Ma'am Rose yan ganyan, nakakatakot. Pero itong Laguna Pistons, Camsur, tsaka Taguig, alam mo yun, kung lokohin ka, kulang na lang, parang you feel like you're one of the boys.
Yes.
Gano'n. So, parang, sa kanila, nafe-feel ko rin na I have a family na meron akong panganay na anak, panganay kay Jetro, di ba? Panganay na anak, kapatid, kuya, so, things like that.
Pinakamabait o pinakamagalang? PBA, NBL.
PBA, alam mo, sa totoo lang, halos natin, even James Yap, si Junmar, okay. Pwede mo magbigay ng isang nakakatuwang experience. Okay. After a PBA game, parang ang relaxation namin ni Edward, kumain. Yan, talagang, namin yan, favorite namin kumain. So, nandun na kami sa sulok ng yung Buffalo Wild Wings sa Capitol Commons. And then Junmar came in together with her girlfriend and driver. Ganun siya kabait. He eats together with the driver. Alam mo, pumunta pa siya dun sa sulok. Ay, Ma'am Rose, good evening. Ganyan. Tapos, the girlfriend coming from the CR, pinapunta niya pa sa table namin just to give respect. So parang ako, things like that, it will never leave my memory. That will always be part of my memory. Lahat naman ng PBA players magalang, in fact. Sa NBL naman, ang pinakamagalang, mga taga-Camsur. Kasi they still value yung mano thing. And for me, syempre, sa edad ko ngayon, yun yung kapanahunan ko na kahit sino makita mo, mano po, basta elderly, di ba? So it's Camsur Express. Talagang they really value the of mano po.
Yes, players sa PBA or NBL na laging nakakaalala sa'yo. Hindi nakakalimot.
hindi nakakalimot. Si RJ Rizada. Yan. In fact, kumpare ko pa yan dahil sa si Rob Labagala, kumpare ko rin yan.
Yeah.
Si Rani Del De Ocampo, kumpare ko rin yan. Si Ronald Tubid. Marami. In fact, maano pa naman sila hanggang ngayon. Ano ba yun?
They keep in touch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sabi ko nga sa'yo, wala kang sisinuhin. Kahit sa PBA, kahit sa NBL. Mababait sa mga bata. Sa totoo lang. Sa NBL naman, lagi nakakaalala. Hindi malilipas ang isang araw na wala akong chat. Mga taga-Laguna Pistons. Yeah, mga Laguna Pistons. Mga ano yan. Mga makukulit yan.
Sino favorite basketball coach or official for you?
Sa PBA, sa PBA, Coach Yeng. PBA Coach Yeng. Kasi nakikita ko yung sarili ko kay Coach Yeng. Yes, he's tough, but, he really has a very, very soft heart. Mabait si Coach Yeng. Sa NBL, kasi marami naman akong, halos lahat naman, kicks, close. Hindi kaya ko sagutin yan. Pero yung, sabi mong super love talaga na malapit sa akin, Valiente, si Coach Tupe. Yan, napakabait na coach niya. Yes. Si Coach Bing is like a brother to me. Si Coach Bing. Si Coach Alan is like a father to me.
Yes.
Si Coach Jerry is a very good friend. So, parang, ang hirap sagutin kasi halos lahat sila. Yun.
The teams that, the NBL teams that you think that will face in the finals this season?
Kasi lahat sila gusto nila mag-champion eh. Lahat sila gusto nila mag-champion. So, hindi naman sila matitira for the next phase if they're not really that good.
Yes.
So, yeah, La Union is showing some potentials.
Oh, yeah.
Pampanga with a powerhouse
lineup
team, possible. Taguig will not let this season pass without giving it a try again. I mean, for a championship. Paranaque, they will fight for their title from the first season, I guess. Pasig is really very, very aggressive. Kaya lang meron silang 21 under na hindi pa pwede maglaro because that's a directive from IATF.
Yes.
Only 21 and above are allowed to play. Mandaluyong also is giving it a try talaga. Kita mo na nagpa-persevere, but the same case with Pasig, they have some players around 2 or 3 that has age 21 and below.
Eto ma'am, describe the following people in 1 to 3 words. 1 to 3 words lang.
Okay.
Sige, we'll start.
So hot seat mo ko
Diba? Hindi naman ma'am, eto lang po. Mr. Sonny Barrios.
Very fatherly. Very family ang ng management style ni Comsani, siya yung tipo ng leader na he believes you're in that position, so I believe you can handle things on your own. Parang gano'n. So yun, very fatherly, mabait, sobra.
Attorney Chito Salud.
My mentor, my forever mentor yan.
Yes. Si Attorney Chito Narvasa.
No comment.
Mr. Willie Marshall.
He's a PR person. When it comes to that, that's really his field. Magaling sa PR si Com Willie.
Mr. Edward Aquino.
Sobrang passionate. Sobrang passionate to the point na sometimes he can go out of the border, but because passionate siya, kahit mag-jump siya into another field, nagagawa naman niya maayos eh. Like, during this pandemic, syempre, wala ka masyadong ginagawa. So, regular na yung twice a week na referee Zoom trainings and all that. Kasi, he wants his referee to be fit na during the pandemic. Kasi, once we're given clearance to proceed, mapapasubo kasi halos during the pandemic walang ginawa kundi kumain, di ba? Kumain, matulog, di ba? I mean, that's the truth. So,
Yes.
twice a week niya. And then lately, he's been sleeping like around 1 or 2 p.m. Because he's the
Mm-mm.
one editing yung baseline,
Ah,
nag-graphics na rin siya and all that. So,
wow.
Edward Aquino really is a very passionate person. Totoo yan.
Eto naman, si Mr. Soy Mercado.
He's like a brother. He's a family to us. He's also passionate. Nagtatalo kami lagi niyan, but at the end of the day, yung banter namin, it's something na, for the betterment of the league. Eh.
Mhm.
So, ako lagi ako aminado sa kanya. When it comes to numbers, that's her field. Pero when it comes to marketing, when it comes to this industry, turf ko to. So parang, ano yan, daw dito, banter.
Yes.
Mag-argue kami, but of course, it's a very healthy argument. But at the end of the day, we end up voting for, it should be fair. Like, Edward is given a chance to vote. I also vote, siya, ganun din. So parang, it's something like a healthy argument for, but at the end of the day, Mr. Soy Mercado, na masasabi dyan, the best. Alam ko, hindi naman niya mapapanood to, pero, he's like family to us. So parang, like, when he sees that meron ako mga family emergencies, he's always on the rescue eh. So parang, yun, talaga, parang family.
Okay, so before we end this episode interview, do you have any final message to your supporters and supporters of NBL, and of course to people who look up to you? What can you advise them?
Ako, message is we're working very, very, very hard to give everyone a better NBL, a better WNBL. We're working overnight, if that's the term, no? So parang, you can expect talaga na once we're given clearance, you'll see really a very, very different NBL. Sobra ko excited to share with you, Kicks, eh. Kaya magagalit si Pom. Kasi ipipreempt ko. Kasi may mga bagong twist ng rules. Sobrang exciting. Yeah, but,
Okay.
parang, because it's not under my turf, ayokong pakialaman. So, sa mga people naman who, like what you said, who look up to me, and I know naman, meron naman, no? Just practice what you preach and preach what you practice. Yun lang yun. Parang maging credible ka, di ba? Parang, ang hirap naman sabihin mo na maging disiplinado kayo, dumating kayo sa oras, kaya, and people see that you're doing it differently. So parang, hindi ka rin effective. And, yun na nga, yung parang, you have a responsibility to your people. You have a responsibility to your audience, to your fans. So parang, us being here comes with a responsibility. So, it's really a tough job, but no complaints. We're happy doing it. So, yun lang.
Okay. So, thank you, Miss Rose, for that final message to
Thank you, Kate.
your listeners. Now, dyan nagtatapos ang episode number 15 ng Extra Session with Kiko Malikdem dito sa Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate Philippines. We would like to say a big thank you to our guest, Miss Rhose Montreal, for the time, and of course sa NBL Pilipinas. And we hope continued success at magtagal pa ng gusto ang liga, dahil kita naman yung hangarin ng liga na para sa kinabukasan ng ating mga manlalarong Pilipino. So till next time, ladies and gentlemen, as always, sinasabi natin, games are always exciting when there is an extra session. Good day.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or via RSS. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if you want to know more, check out www.guerrillapodcast.com.au or guerrillapodcast.com.ph. A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production.